What's going on, everybody? KingofDragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z Krillin, Earth's Strongest Man. And so here we have Krillin posing out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through his accessories. Krillin does come with 4 different head sculpts. We do get the stern neutral expression. We do get a worried expression. We get an expression where he's gritting his teeth and looking to the left. And then we do get a yelling expression. Krillin also comes with a set of hands. He does come with a pair of fists, a pair of Kamehameha hands, a pair of style pose hands, a pair of hands for using the solar flare, a pair of open palmed hands, and then a pair of hands for using the Destructo disc. Krillin also does come with a left hand with a bag with the senzu beans in it, which looks really nice. And then finally he does come with the Destructo disc. Other than that, Krillin here doesn't come with anything else. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually move on to his details. And so here we have a closer look at Krillin, and I have to say that Bandai has done a really good job with this version of Krillin. This is of course the version 2 Krillin, which I didn't have the original figure. I actually wasn't collecting Dragon Ball SH Figuarts at the time, but I am really happy that they did reissue Krillin here in a version 2 form. I think this version looks so much better than the version 1, and we'll go over some of the detailing on this Krillin. As far as the face goes, this is a very, very good likeness to the anime. They did a fantastic job, and I keep saying this with every figure. They get better and better with each figure that they release, and I really think Krillin here is a very good example of that. The head sculpt is exactly what you would expect. He has that same profile that Krillin is known for, where his eyebrows go into his mouth, no nose going into his chin, and that is just the perfect silhouette for Krillin here. It's just absolutely perfect, especially right here on his bald head, which they did a fantastic job with that. Overall, really happy with the head sculpt, and I think every head sculpt on Krillin here is very good. I do like it. So moving on to the rest of his detailing here, he is wearing his traditional Turtle Kai costume. At least that's what the kanji I think is here. I think this is Turtle Kai, and he is wearing the orange and blue, which I think looks really, really nice. They did a really good job with it. Overall, really excited about how he came out. I love the blues, I love the oranges. They did a good job with them, especially color matching, seeing as how there are some soft plastics on him. I do think they did a good job with it. As you can see right here, I think they might have made the back emblem a little bit too small. Normally when they do a Goku figure, this emblem is really big, but Krillin's here, it seems small. I think this emblem could have been done a little bit bigger, but that's just me. Honestly, I think they still did a good job with it. So having a look at the rest of his costume, we do have the blue sleeves, which I love the way that they designed Krillin's costume. I hope that moving forward they design most Gokus like this, because I think the engineering on Krillin works very good here. So having a look at the rest of his gi, you can see he does have the blue wristbands, the blue belt, which thankfully the knot is articulated here. As you can see, it does move around. We do have some really good shading right here in his pants. I kind of wish that the shading was all throughout his costume rather than just the front of his pants, because on the back we don't really have shading, which is a little bit unfortunate here. I do like the boots that he is wearing. You see the blue straps, the dark blue boots with the rope going around them, which that's a really good detail there. And of course we do have the texturing on his undershoes, which looks really nice. Now I could have done with either the sandals Krillin or the boots Krillin, but I think this is a more iconic look, at least for Dragon Ball Z Krillin and maybe Dragon Ball Super. Overall, really like the way Krillin came out. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get Krillin compared to other figures you may have in your collection. And so here we have Krillin posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Krillin posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have Krillin posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And finally, here we do have Krillin posed next to an SH Figuarts, Saiyan Reza on Earth Goku, and a Figma Joker. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually move on to Krillin's articulation. Now, Krillin does have a really good range of articulation. He does have a double ball joint here in the head. As you can see, we do have a dumbbell joint going from his neck to this cap in his head, and that does provide a lot of good range for movement. You can see he does look up really nicely, can look down, can tilt his head side to side, left and right, no problem. Now, when I got him out of the packaging, his head was really stiff. I couldn't turn his head. Like, I would try to force it, and it felt like it was gonna snap. A little bit of shock oil later, and it moves fine. Yeah, it still has a little bit of squeak, but it moves around just fine. We do have a ball joint here connecting his shoulder cap to his torso, and that does provide some forward and back movement, some down and up. So really good range there. And yes, it is just a cap connecting the shoulder into the body, because his shoulder also has like a pull-out joint, which does allow for some better range. As you can see, going all the way out, no problem. Going down, up. And I do like that pull-out joint, although I kind of feel like it's a little bit unnecessary, but it does help with posing. His arm does go all the way around, no problem. We do have a bicep swivel, which works fine. Double bend here in the elbow. We have a swivel hinge here at the wrist, which does have in and out or up and down, depending on how you have that situated. We do have a ball hinge here at the torso. Now, mine is a little bit stiff, and it is a ball hinge because it hinges up. It doesn't really hinge back as much as you would expect, but it does function. It does provide some nice rotation as well as some side-to-side pivot, although most of that is going to be done down here in the waist, so really good range there. And you can see in conjunction with the two, we get some really good movement. A little stiff going back, but it still functions. His belt knot is articulated like I did say, so you can actually have that moving around. Legs do have really good range. You can see they go out to the side, no problem. Going forward and slightly back. We do have a thigh swivel, double jointed in the knee. Now, this is one issue I have with Krillin. These kneecaps, they pop off very frequently, and I'm almost tempted to just super glue them in place just because of how frequently they pop off, especially this one on the left side. It doesn't take much for it to fall off. A little bit of a hassle in my honest opinion, but it's not the end of the world. He doesn't have a boot swivel, but he does have a hinge in the ankle, which does go forward and back really nicely. Does provide some rotation. We have forward facing pin for rocker ankle, and then we have a toe hinge. So overall, we have some pretty good range of articulation here on Krillin. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get Krillin posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z Earth's Strongest Man Krillin pose for my final thoughts. And overall, I absolutely love the way this figure came out. I'm loving this figure the more and more I mess with it. I think the accessories Krillin came with are perfect, although I do feel like he is missing one essential accessory, and that is a smiling head. If they had given him a smiling head, I think this figure would be an absolute 100% perfect figure. Now, that's not saying that the quality control on this figure is perfect. I do have some issues with parts falling off, especially the kneecaps. I think those are the weakest point of this figure. I'm gonna have to glue that down. And I do have an issue with the left arm popping off just a little bit. It's not that it's popping off every time I look at it, it's just popping off every time I force the joint to move a little too much. But overall, this is still a very solid release, and I am happy that Figuarts was able to give us a second Krillin. I was able to play with the first Krillin at my friend's house, and I do have to say that the Destructo Disc on that figure feels very fragile. This one, the Destructo Disc is made much, much better, and I think this is a superior figure to that old figure. If you were unable to get the first release of Krillin, I think this is a very good figure to pick up, especially if you're a fan of the Z Warriors. You're gonna need Krillin in your collection because he's a huge part of your Dragon Ball collection, and he just needs to go in every collection in my honest opinion. If you haven't already done so, I really do recommend you pick up the Earth's Strongest Man and add him to your collection. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out all my other action figure reviews as well as all my other SH Figuarts and Dragon Ball videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll gladly have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time guys, I'll see you later. Take care everyone.